and a new video about San Francisco, my favorite topic. So first, I'm going to start off talking about Dr. Eric Topol and his TED Talk here in San Francisco back almost 9 years ago now. He was talking about the future. So here we are. And then I'll talk about Dr. Greger and from nutritionfacts.org. And he has a recent podcast saying that doctor is even worse than I thought. Wow, who could have thought? And then I'll show another a link to a video from this other person about why California and San Francisco is so in trouble. And, it has a lot of ideas that I've already talked about, and so we'll talk about that briefly. Yeah. So to start off here, we have this is a talk by Dr. Topol. He works on genomic and wireless digital innovative technologies to reshape the future of medicine. And it starts with his patient's story. Okay, this was 8 years ago. In TED Talks, he got 43 million subscribers, and he only got 310 likes, 13 comments. That was it. I liked it. I thought it was good. Because what he talks about, he's talking about the great inversion of medicine, and basically what his inversion is using your smartphone and AI and all these sensors attached to your smartphone and your smartwatch, and how that's going to, invert medicine, change it, reshape the future of medicine. That sounds great. Here's the device I just recently bought. Let's see, this is an otoscope. Because what happened was I had some earwax. I had a feeling in my ear, and so I go to see a specialist. And because I first see my doctor can't help me, and of course referred me to a specialist. Go to the specialist, and the specialist spent less than half a second really looking in my ear, and then charged me $500 and said, "Geez, you're crazy." Basically, that was it. And so that day, of course, I went home and I online and bought this little sensor, and you can see it comes with a display and the little camera thing. And so you don't need this really. You should just be able to hook this right up USB and plug it right into a smartphone, and you don't really need this. So it's a lot cheaper. But still, which is a great idea. But now we're talking about San Francisco here.
So we are going to talk about the great inversion of medicine, and I'm going to be presenting my case as the index case. Haven't done it before because I'm still living through it.
And he's at this point, he's 63 years old in this video, and I'm 61, so he's only 2 years older than me. And he starts off with his patient story, and basically what happens is he has this very painful condition. He has an operation. His doctor, is telling him what to do. And it gets worse and worse and worse. And long story short, his wife has to use the internet to search for the diagnosis to save his life because his doctors couldn't help him. And he's a doctor, so that must be pretty painful. But of course, the real issue here is, of course, half the people in San Francisco are either on disability or Medicare or something, right? So who's going to pay for all these little devices, right? Is your insurance company? I don't think so. I mean, if you consider all these people, I don't think our insurance companies are going to be supplying, all of these devices to everybody. It's going to cost a lot of money. And even if people got them, are they going to use them? I mean, who's going to tell them to use them, how to use them, that they even need them, right? That gets a little more complicated. And so how is that going to happen? And with AI, are people going to listen to the AI more than their current doctor, who they ignore anyway? So, I mean, that has to be, I'm sure there's been a lot of studies on that. So this is interesting idea. I just don't see, how this is going to help us. But not everybody. I mean, it helps me. If you know what you're doing, even the AI isn't going to help. Like for just my own personal experience, I do a blood test every year, pay for it myself. It's about $1,000. Analyzes everything because my doctor won't do it. And one of the things that it told me, the AI told me a couple of years ago, was about my folate. So I increased my folate, and then last year my folate was off the charts. They couldn't even measure it. And the AI just skipped right over it. I had to search for it was just one line in the whole 20-page document, and it didn't know anything about me, and it was totally wrong. And so it's giving advice that will actually kill people, and it doesn't have all the information. For instance, if it had known what my body fat percentage was, or other things about me, it should already know. It already has enough information, the AI, to give me, to know what it should recommend and what it should not. Because based on your genetics and your conditions, certain things can be bad for you. And the AI isn't really, still, as of today, no, not even close. Okay, and then let's talk about, this guy. And this is Dr. Michael Greger. New York Times bestseller, How Not to Die, celebrates evidence-based nutrition. And so his latest broadcast, I just listened to this one, How Much Do Doctors Know About Nutrition? And it turns out they know less than most people. And the worst part, they did a whole survey, and they surveyed all these doctors. You can listen to the podcast. He has all these nice little podcasts and videos too, all kinds of references in here. It's all free. You can just listen to it. But it turns out not only do doctors not know, but they think they know, the Dunning-Kruger thing. And so that makes them very dangerous. So they think they know what they're talking about, probably because, psychologists would have to chime in, but, people in authority, they feel like they have to know. And it's, simple things such as nutrition, the most basic thing. And doctors don't know. Don't ever talk to your doctor about health. Nope. And then the last one we'll talk about, this guy. This is Victor Davis Hanson. It was the only video I've seen of this guy. I just came across it, and it was, no one is prepared for what's about to happen in California. And he going along, it basically says a lot of the same things that I posted on Nextdoor. Same things. You can see he's an old guy just like me. And we've been watching this, and again, he has his own personal health story that you really should listen to. And here's like the first comment. As a California native, this is the most accurate, clear, and concise description of the downfall of California that I've ever seen in my lifetime. It's pretty good, but he does skip a lot of things, and I think his life actually much worse than he's thinking. So, anyway, this is just a good overview of my current episode of the doom of San Francisco, and that's basically it. I'll put links in the comments. The first comment, I'll put the 3 links in there, so if people ever wanted to look at it, but you're not. I know you're not going to look at them anyway, but I just wanted to make this video just because it's something I've been thinking about.